this year. Um, and I've also been active in public education advocacy. Thank you.
Hello, I am Nicole Holloman. I am also new to this committee. I am a mother of 2 children in the CCSD district currently, and I am also a realtor, active realtor, speaking with many, many people in our community that have a special opinion about all things CCSD. That is all.
Hi, I'm Donna West, representing District G. This is my second year on the committee, and I'm very active in the community, and so I hear a lot of information. I also follow the legislature, especially when it comes to educational issues.
Thank you. We will now take nominations from the floor for a chairperson. Nominations for individuals do not need a second. Discussions regarding the nominations may occur. A motion may be offered by a recommending committee member to close nominations, which does require a second. The recommending committee will then vote on the motion to close. If the motion passes, we will close the nominations and move to an actual vote. Are there any nominations?
I would like to, my name is Margie Feldman, and I would like to nominate Donna West to chair the committee. I've worked with Donna in other committees, and she's extremely reliable and a real team player. She has been a parent, and she's a very active grandparent and active in her grandchildren's education, which also includes special education. As she mentioned, she's very active in the community and in the state, even the whole country. But so I highly recommend and nominate Donna West to chair this committee.
Donna West has been nominated, has been motioned. Do I have a second?
I second that nomination for Donna West. This is Julie Vigil for the record.
Okay. Are there any additional nominations? Do we have a motion to close the nominations for a chairperson?
I motion to close.
I have a motion from Nicole Holloman.
And Margie will second that.
Do I have a second? I have a motion from Nicole Holloman and a second from Margie Feldman to close nominations for a chairperson. All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And no abstentions. The motion carries. Do we have discussions on the nomination? Are we ready to take a vote on the nomination? Please raise your hand and provide a verbal affirmation if you would like to vote for Donna West. Thank you. Donna West has been nominated for chairperson. Donna West, please have a seat next to me and we'll move on to agenda item 2.02.
Okay, so we are on agenda item. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the June 21st, 2022 meeting?
I move to approve the minutes of the
Aye.
meeting.
Thank you. I have a motion from Lindsay Daly. Do I have a second?
Julie Vihil, for the record, I second.
I have a motion from Lindsay Daly and a second from Julie Vigil to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, raise your hand and say nay. And it looks like it was unanimous. Oh, I have to vote too, sorry. The minutes from the June 21st, 2022 meeting have been approved. We'll now move on to agenda item 2.03, consider and recommend applicants for membership in the Clark County School District Sex Education Advisory Committee. Before I officially open agenda item 2.03, is there anyone who has not either signed up in advance or completed a public speaker card? If not, please do so at this time and turn the card in to the front table. At this time, we'll open agenda item 2.03, consider and recommend applicants for membership in the Clark County School District Sex Education Advisory Committee. The recommending committee will now recommend individuals for the Sex Education Advisory Committee in the following order: medicine, nursing, counseling, teaching, and finally, parent or guardian. The Sex Education Advisory Committee bylaws state that there can be no more than 2 voting members from any individual trustee district to serve on the Sex Education Advisory Committee. Once 2 members from a district have been recommended, that district will be closed. Currently, there is 1 member from District E on the committee in the category of parent guardian. An attempt will be made to maintain a balance of membership based on diversity and individual Board of School Trustees districts. Please be reminded we will look at the qualifications of the applicants first. The public will be allowed to make comments regarding applicants. After public comments are heard, the applicants will have an opportunity to speak. And finally, recommendations for new committee members will be decided upon at this meeting and recommended to the Board of School Trustees for final approval. So do we have people signed up to speak, or? Okay. We will now open public comment, beginning with anyone who called in advance. When Mr. Carroll calls your name, please step up to the microphone, state your name for the record. You will have 3 minutes. Mr. Carroll, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on agenda item 2.03?
Yes, and prior to the comment, please remember, based on Governance Board Policy 11, all comments must pertain to the item at hand. So in this case, selection of committee members for the Sex Education Advisory Committee only. We'll open public comment now, and we have a public comment from James Bayless.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is James Bayless, for the record. When you guys think of people going to be teaching our children sex ed, it's not when you guys do this, you necessarily don't want to keep in mind only the normal children. We need to cater more also to the special needs kids. Because my kids in the sex ed class, and CCSD has this thing where it's a one-fits-all criteria. It's not a IEP. So the situation is, in one of my son's classes, he learned a lot of very inappropriate things that I probably shouldn't mention on this mic, which is ironic because it's not appropriate here, but it's okay to teach our kid. So situation is, we might want to think of people in IEP credentials, not necessarily just in medical and physical, but cater to the kids like my son. He's mentally 5, IQ 62. You guys wouldn't know how to talk to him, but somebody with a psychology degree would have. And I didn't notice that being mentioned. So that would be a good idea to actually maybe think of when you guys have recommendations. Linda would be a great one. She knows a lot about special needs children, and she is awesome. You have a good one.
Public comment is now closed for agenda item 2.03. We will now take nominations from the floor to fill the one available position from the category of medicine or nursing. Nominations for individuals do not require a second. Discussions regarding the nominees may occur. A motion may be offered by a recommending committee member to close the nominations, which does require a second. The recommending committee will then vote on the motion to close. If the motion passes, we will close the nominations. Are there any nominations?
This is Lindsay Daly for the record. I would like to nominate Gregory Bigler.
We have a nomination for Gregory Bigler from Lindsay Daly.
This is Julie Vigil for the record. I would like to nominate Danny Hardy.
We have a nomination from Julie Vigil to nominate Danny Hardy. Denny Hardy. Denny Hardy.
It's got an I on it.
Aha.
D-A-N-I.
There we go. Danny Hardy. Thank you, Julie.
Nicole Holloman. I represent District F. I'd like to nominate Amanda Knowles.
We have a nomination from Nicole Holloman to nominate Amanda Knowles. Are there any further nominations? Seeing no further nominations, the chair would not entertain a motion to close the nominations.
I would move to we close nominations. And
Motion
This is Lindsay
by-
Daly for the record.
By Lindsay Daly to close the nominations. Is there a second?
I will second Margie Feldman.
Lindsay Daly moved to close the nominations with a second by Margie Feldman. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Okay, aye. The motion carries. Is there any discussion on these nominations from the committee? Seeing no discussion, are we ready to take a, oh, I'm sorry, Julie?
Hi, Julie Vigil for the record. I was, I noticed that Danny Hardy said that she had quite a lot of experience in her field as an ER nurse for 10 years, a sexual assault nurse for 5 years, and also a pediatric ER nurse. And she said she wanted to use her experience as a pediatric sexual assault nurse to help advise the committee, which I thought would be a very good fit. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Is there any further discussion on the nominations? Lindsay?
Okay. I just wanted to point out the obvious, that we've got an MD, if we're talking about medical or nursing. I know that being a sexual assault nurse is, is a positive thing, but I don't know that we're going to be getting into. I don't know how much of the curriculum will be dealing with sexual assault. Certainly, sex ed involves trying to prevent sexual assault, but I don't know that that's the where where we're looking to those individuals. I think there's always a lot to do about medically accurate, factual is always a big concern. Man, if we've got an MD on the list, he is an orthopedic surgeon, but they are pretty familiar with all the parts, and I would think, why not take advantage of that?
Thank you, Lindsay. Is there any further discussion on the nominations? Julie?
Julie Vigil for the record. I acknowledge the medical doctor that has been nominated, but I'd like to counter that he currently doesn't have any children in the district, or Danny does, and it seems like her experience might be a little bit more current, and probably a little bit more directed towards the information, while we obviously don't want anyone to be schooled in sexual assault, but we definitely do want that kind of medical knowledge and background to be able to field any emergencies or just have that knowledge as a background.
Thank you, Julie. Is there any further discussion?
Hi, Nicole Holloman, District F. I also like to bring to the attention of our members here that Ms. Knowles also has a pediatric background in sexual education and also should be noted for that. That's all.
Thank you,
Thank
Nicole.
you.
Margie?
I would like to add that, we have to make a decision based on applications. It's hard not having the person in the room, but Ms. Knowles, with her medical background as well, seemed extremely passionate about the subject and working with all sides, and it just spoke to me, and so I was impressed and ask everybody to think about her also.
Thank you, Margie. Is there any further discussion, or are we ready to take a vote on the nominations?
No, I'd like to just comment that I think that's a fair point, and I'm looking at those, of course, I nominated Dr. Bigler, but also that Amanda Knowles, I'd like to bring out the point that she is a physician's assistant, which is, very knowledgeable. So if I could go with that one as well. I think it's more important to get the highest level of education in medical issues as we can. And I know the Nursing Association would probably skin me alive, but PAs are definitely more autonomous and a little more education. And not that nurses can't be, but so I would be willing, if the committee is interested in going that direction, I could certainly support that.
Okay. Again, any further discussion on the nominations?
Hi, Nicole Holloman, District F. I would just like to agree with that as far as having more of a discussion and more time with students as a PA and or nurse versus in the doctor's office. They are the forefront. They are the first person that we do see, whether it be triage, whether it be whatever it may be. A nurse has to get there and speak to our students and or patients and get more information from them. I agree with you.
Thank you. Are we ready to vote on the nomination?
I'd like some clarification. I'm a little unclear there. So you're saying, because Amanda Knowles is not a nurse, she's a physician's assistant.
She's a PA.
Yes, so she's a physician's assistant, but I also see that she has, 5 years in sex education, I see here, medical knowledge, her perspective. I guess I'm speaking more from her perspective as a nurse or as a PA, not necessarily a medical doctor as far as Dr. Bigler.
Okay, a nurse and a PA are totally different things.
Correct.
So okay, so when you say nurse, you're just talking about someone who deals with patients on a daily basis.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Okay, are we ready to close discussion and take a vote? Or Julie?
Hi, Julie Vihil for the record. Since it was asked where they heard about the committee, I have to point out, I feel it's my responsibility to point out that the other two candidates that have been nominated indicated that they heard about this position through a group called Power to Parent. And I have had experience in the past with that group. And I have to say that I find the leadership anyway to be not necessarily have everyone's best interest at heart. And that was a big red flag for me to not consider them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Are we ready to vote? Okay, so we have our tracking sheet. So if you will, it's in the very front pocket of your binder. So please use the worksheet from the front of your binder to record your top nomination in the category of medicine and nursing.
This is Lindsay Daly for the record. We just vote for one?
We vote for one.
Okay. Is this like last time where you bring them all together and it's not a single vote? I forget what they call it, but it was a,
We'll do ranked choice voting. Chris Carroll for the record.
that's
We'll
what it
do
was.
ranked choice voting for the parents based on the volume of
Okay.
parents. But in the medicine nursing section, there's only one candidate available to
Okay.
vote for.
Okay, so we're going to have each member read off their nomination so it can be tallied. Margie Feldman.
Amanda Knowles.
Do you want-
Did you hear that loud enough?
You want it on the record. So push your button.
Margie Feldman, Amanda Knowles.
Thank you. Lindsay Daly.
Lindsay Daly for the record, Amanda Knowles.
Julie Vigil.
Julie, excuse me, Julie Vihil for the record. I vote for Danny Hardy.
Nicole Holloman.
Nicole Holloman for District F. I vote in Amanda Knowles.
Donna West for District G. I vote for Danny Hardy.
Chris Carroll for the record. We have Amanda Knowles from District C has received 3 votes and has been recommended for the category of medicine or nursing.
Okay. We'll now take nominations from the floor to fill the one available position from the category of counseling. Nominations for individuals do not require a second. Discussion regarding the nominees may occur. A motion may be offered by a recommending committee member to close the nominations, which does require a second. The recommending committee will then vote on a motion to close. If the motion passes, we will close the nominations. Are there any nominations?
Julie Vihil for the record. I nominate Christopher Brace.
Christopher Brace. We have a nomination of Christopher Brace from District G by Julie Vihil. Are there additional nominations?
This is Lindsay Daly for the record. I would nominate Tanya Atterbury.
We have a nomination of Tanya Atterbury from District E by Lindsay Daly. Are there additional nominations? No? Margie? Nominations? No. If there are no further nominations, the chair will entertain a motion to close the nominations.
Motion to close, Nicole Holloman.
Nicole Holloman has moved to close the nominations. Is there a second?
This is Lindsay Daly. I'll second.
Nicole Holloman has moved to close the nominations. Lindsay Daly has second. Is there discussion on the nominations?
It's Julie V. Hill for the record. I was impressed and moved by the answers, although there were only a few questions that they could expound on. I liked the background, how this candidate heard about it. Seems that it's a working colleague who has finished her second term on the committee already and is recommending a coworker and colleague to step up. They seem to be very inclusive of the curriculum and all students who are in the district. And they are a licensed clinical social worker, and I liked that they talked about a code of ethics and an obligation to advocate for everyone in the community to have equal and equitable access to all the vital resources, including education.
Julie, could I clarify which nominee you're speaking about?
Christopher Brace,
Thank you.
it's for District G.
Yes. Is there additional discussion on the nominees?
Nicole Holloman with District F. I too would speak on Christopher Brace when he answered the questions, the inclusiveness of which is a concern of many in the community, but also the ability or the want to improve, not necessarily take over or change, but to improve, use what we have and make it better, not necessarily start over. So that word there spoke out to me for Christopher.
Thank you, Nicole. Is there any additional discussion? Lindsay?
Yes, we had a gentleman talk about concern about the special needs, and certainly Tanya Atterbury is concerned about that. That was specifically noted in the application. And she's been 26 years in CCSD. I mean, we can all read her responses. I think what concerns me is in our district, the big concern is that we're moving away from, or we're moving either away or towards concerns or issues that tend to violate family values. And I'm not defining those family values, but there are certain values that families may hold, and as you start deviating more to in Christopher Brace's comment towards queer inclusive, while we don't want to cut anybody out, certainly we also don't want to cause harm by changing and moving the curriculum away from or to where they could cause problems, where the student then is taught something that is contrary to their family values. And that's so I think the Tanya Atterbury is a little safer on that, and I think the special needs comment, well, I don't know the gentleman, I think he has a good point. We have to be concerned about that, and of course with Tanya, she has experience in that, and could help balance that so we don't damage in our zeal to expand. And I think that's probably my big concern is we just don't want to do that.
Thank you, Lindsay. Margie?
I would like to say that I think each of us have our own definitions of family values, and when I read Christopher Brace's comments, it would fit into my family values. I think that he's a licensed clinical social worker. I love the fact that he's inclusive. He has quite a bit of experience and training in advanced training in relational counseling, which I think is ultimately one of the most important things on any committee to work together. So I'm advocating for Christopher Brace.
Thank you, Margie. Are there any additional comments on the nominations?
Nicole Holloman, District F. I'm all about codes of ethics. It's something that each of us in our profession or anything that we do, we live by a code, we go by a code. I think him putting in his ethical beliefs is something that would cover some of the concerns we have about values and about what he's going to bring to the table. He has a code.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion, or are we ready to take a vote on the nominees?
This is Lindsay Daly. Well, it looks like I'm going to get outvoted, and somehow I'll live through it. I think I look at Tanya Atterbury, and man, she's got a lot of experience right here. Middle school, high school, just a lot of solid experience. And well, Christopher Brace may be highly qualified. There's a little bit, I think there's a little more of an unknown there compared to Tanya Atterbury. So I would just throw that out there. If we're trying to not change, but stay where we're at, I think Tanya is the safer alternative.
Thank you, Lindsay. Any additional discussion, or are we ready to take a vote? All right, let's use the worksheet again from the front of your binder to record your top nomination in the category of counseling. And we'll do a roll call of each member to read off their nomination so it can be tallied. Margie Feldman.
Margie Feldman, District A. I nominate Christopher Brace.
You're voting for Christopher Brace.
I'm voting for Christopher Brace. Sorry.
Thank you. Lindsay Daly.
Lindsay Daly, I'm going to cast my vote for Tanya Atterbury.
Thank you. Julie Vigil.
Julie Vigil, for the record, I'll cast my vote for Christopher Brace.
Nicole Holloman.
Nicole Holloman, I cast my vote for Christopher Brace.
And this is Donna West from District G. I vote for Christopher Brace.
Christopher Brace from District G received 4 votes and has been recommended for the category of counseling. There were no eligible applicants for the field of religion, and one of our students has stepped down. Therefore, we will open the application for these positions in August. I will now turn it back over to our chairperson.
Okay. So we are going down to, okay. Since there were no eligible applicants in the field of religion, we will move to take nominations from the floor to fill the one available position from the category of teaching. Nominations for individuals do not require a second. Discussion regarding the nominees may occur. A motion may be offered by a recommending committee member to close the nominations, which does require a second. The nominating committee will then vote on the motion to close. If the motion passes, we will close the nominations. Are there any nominations in the category of teaching? That's good to do.
This is Margie Feldman from District A, and I would like to nominate Elizabeth Ornelius.
Okay, Margie Feldman from District A is nominating Elizabeth Ornelius. Are there additional nominations?
Julie Vigil, for the record. I'd also like to throw Dennis Lawrence's name in for a nomination as well.
Okay, Julie Vigil has nominated Lawrence Dennis. Additional nominations? If there are no additional nominations, the chair will entertain a motion to close the nominations.
Nicole Holloman, motion to close.
Nicole Holloman has moved to close the nominations. Is there a second?
Margie Feldman seconds.
Nicole Holloman has moved to close the nominations with a second by Margie Feldman. Is there any discussion on the nominations?
Who are the two nominations again?
The nominations are Elizabeth Ornelius and Lawrence Dennis, or Dennis Lawrence.
Oh,
Dennis Lawrence. Sorry, Dennis.
Julie V. Hill for the record. I liked what I read about Dennis Lawrence for District G for the teaching position or teaching slot in the committee. I liked that he wants to work to help make lasting positive impacts with the entire community, students, teachers, and community at large. He worked with special ed, he has worked as a special education teacher where he developed leadership skills, and I definitely liked how he talked about bringing a calm to his students. Someone who will be on this committee definitely needs to know how to remain calm because there's probably going to be some emotions that run high. Anyway, I liked what I read about Dennis, and that's why I nominated him. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Is there additional discussion on the nominees?
This is Lindsay Daly for the record. I think, well, Dennis may not have been my first choice. I think we need that special education feedback in that committee. So I'm kind of, unless somebody can come up with a better reason, I'm going to throw my weight behind Dennis. So
Thank you,
convince
Lindsay.
me.
Thank you.
Nicole Holloman. I don't know if I can convince you, but I'd like to bring your attention to, I would say, the diverse background of Miss Elizabeth Ornelas. Her master's in psychology, education, being coordinator of a program that's in place, having a versatile knowledge base to bring to the table, I think is working well in her corner and also with intervention as well. So she has a lot of things backing her coming to the table. Again, I don't want to convince you.
Is there any further discussion on the nominees, or are we ready to vote?
Lindsay Daly, just for the record, she's certainly got credentials. I just want to make it a point that she is also signed up for the parent guardian position. So, I mean, I'm not trying to kick the can down the road, but she still has another shot.
Any further discussion, or are we ready to take a vote on the nominees? All right, if you will take the worksheet out of the front of your binder again and mark your nomination, your vote in the category of teaching. And then we'll have each member read off their vote when you're ready.
Margie Feldman, District A. I'm voting for Elizabeth Ornelius.
Lindsay?
This is Lindsay Daly, District B. It seems like I'm in Hunger Games or something. Anyway, Dennis Lawrence is who I'll vote for.
Dennis Lawrence. Julie?
Julie V. Hill for the record. Dennis Lawrence.
Nicole Holloman for the record. Dennis Lawrence.
Donna West for the record. Dennis Lawrence.
Dennis Lawrence from District G has received 4 votes and has been recommended for the category of teaching. If you'll notice on your chart, that is 2 candidates have been selected for voting, have been voted upon for G, so G is now closed.
you next. Where are we? Here? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, this is about the ranking. Where are we? Okay. So is it?
There you go.
Okay. As stated earlier, an attempt will be made to maintain balance of membership based on diversity in individual Board of School Trustees districts. Please be reminded, we will look at the qualifications of applicants first. And Mr. Carroll, will you give us an update on the number of nominations for from each district?
From District C, there is 1 nomination. From District E, 1 spot is already full. From District G, 2 nominations have been made.
What are those?
Say that one more time, please.
This is Lindsay Daly. What are the 2 spots for fill? We've got teacher for G, and what was the other one?
For medicine nursing,
Okay.
it was Amanda Knowles was selected for C. And then for G, which was counseling, we have Christopher Brace. And then we just voted on for teaching, which is Dennis Lawrence for G.
I feel like I skipped a page. Yep. 6, I did. I skipped a page. That's why I'm lost.
There are 4 vacancies for the category of parent or guardian. So I'll go through the process of rank voting right now and what that means. If you're looking at your score sheet, that will probably be the most helpful. Since there are multiple vacancies, we are going to use a form of rank voting to narrow down our recommendations while being mindful that no district can have more than 2 candidates. There will be 2 rounds of voting. The first time through, each member will select their top 6 nominations. You'll rank them in order, first choice to last choice. The first choice will receive 6 points, the second choice 5 points, and so on. If you take a look at round 1 on your score sheet, you'll notice the order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the right of that, you'll see 6 points, 5 points, 4 points, and so forth. Any person receiving fewer than 6 points will be eliminated from the pool and will not move forward to the second round. Assuming that there are more than 4 candidates remaining after the first round is complete, there will be a second round of voting. Following the exact same format, each candidate will be selecting each of you will be selecting your top 4 choices. The first choice will receive 4 points, the second choice 3 points, and so forth. And if you'll notice round 2 on your score sheet, you'll see the same structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. After the second round, if there are any ties or overrepresentation in any district, there will be a runoff vote. In order to begin, we will need to nominate all applicants from the category of parent or guardian, and I'll turn it back over to our chairperson.
The chair will entertain, a motion to nominate all applicants in the category of parent guardian.
I'll second that.
Oh, no, I need a motion.
Oh, I'll motion.
Okay, Lindsay, a
So moved.
motion from Lindsay Daly to nominate all applicants in the category of parent guardian. Is there a second?
Julie Vihil, I second that motion.
Okay, a motion by Lindsay Daly with a second by Julie Vihil to nominate all parent guardian nominees. Is there any or can we take a vote on the motion? All those in favor of nominating all applicants in the category of parent and guardian, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Is there any discussion on this motion before we move forward?
Yes, we'll walk through that right now. At this time, we'll open up the discussion to allow members of the committee to explain what you are looking for in a representative from the category of parent or guardian, with the understanding that there will be additional time for discussion after each round of nominations. So if we would like to go through each person to say what they're looking for in a candidate from the parent or guardian section. Correct.
Margie, would you like to begin?
Well, I would be looking for parents or guardians that have a specific interest in sex education of our children. I would look to see that, I would look at their level of education, their expertise. Are there hints in the application about problem-solving issues, relational skills, all of the things we've talked about tonight for the professionals? Many parents have professional backgrounds, and it would be very wonderful. I would also like to see special ed. I think I'm very passionate about that and think it's really important that in our diversity of a committee that we also have diversity in how we educate our children and their needs. There are special ed kids, and there's also sometimes gifted kids that need extra care and specifics in their trainings. Thank you.
Thank you, Margie. Lindsay, what are you looking for from a parent or guardian for the committee?
Well, this is Lindsay Daly, for the record. What I'm looking for is, I think we've gone through our expertise. We've got counselors, we've got medicine, and you go down the list, teaching. Those are all very valuable, need that insight. But now I think it's the opportunity for Mr. and Mrs. Parent. They need to, it's their children, and sometimes we can overdo the education. We can't forget, the folks, and the parents are the folks. So while if we do we can get a twofer, get some education and expertise, great. But I don't necessarily think that should exclude it, because I know a lot of smart housewives that, don't work or don't have a degree. So I just don't think that should be, rule them out. And plus, it's just, here's the chance to see what the folks want and give that balance, so we don't end up discussing how many angels can fit on the head of a pin, so to speak, metaphorically. Because they're going to bring that plane down and land it. Whereas in my world, sometimes you can chew off a little and just never quit chewing.
Thank you, Lindsay. Julie?
Julie V. Hill for the record. I looked for several things while I was going through the applications for all of them, all the positions, specifically parents. I was looking to see that in their answers that they included more than just their child. That was big for me. I wanted to see something more than I want to make sure my kid gets XYZ. I also looked to see what kind of background they have, if they included that. If they didn't, it wasn't a negative in my mind or anything. Just the fullness of the answer. If there was any attitude in the answer, there was one that kind of struck me in that way. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, these are all parents who seem to be ready to engage and step forward with their time. Oh, actually, there was one candidate who said that they would not be able to attend all meetings on time, so that one was out of the running for me. Can I say? It was Roseanne Dagan from District A said that can you attend all meetings on time? And she said no. And she had not read the documents either. So that was out of the running for me. So, but on the other end of the spectrum, I did look for why they were interested, how they heard about it, but mostly that they were concerned about more than just their own child. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Nicole?
Nicole Holloman. I am looking for someone who is involved, not just at the school, but in the community around it. I am looking for someone who is not just PTA, not just the requisites that are already there and available. I want to know the students who are helping cross the street. I want to know who's also involved in ways that you're not being told to. I see volunteerism, which is a plus. I see where you're passionate about other things besides just sex education, because it all comes in full circle. So some of the things that I'm looking for are between the lines of what they've written, some of my keywords.
Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate everyone's comments. As the grandmother of 2 special needs grandsons, I am particularly interested in people that understand how to teach a sensitive subject like this, and I know personally how much special needs children can benefit from a proper education and sex education in more ways than just sexual relations, but things like consent and body autonomy. So it's very important to me that we have somebody that brings that voice to the committee. And I agree with you, Nicole. The one thing I was going to say is I'm looking for volunteerism. I'm looking for people who are involved in the community, yes, but people that are on campus with children, that are hearing and talking to parents, that are bringing those other voices. I think it's very important that the parents who are selected for this committee are there not just to represent their own family values, but the family values of all of the families at the schools. And so that we get a well-rounded curriculum and presentation for all children.
This is Lindsay Daly. Are we opening up for discussion yet?
The discussion part was going to come after we rank our nominations.
Well, then I would like to kind of throw out a couple of things here that I've noticed. This is Lindsay Daly for the record. I'm going to take the opposite view. I think that there was the nomination that said that they could not make the meetings, and I forgot who that was. I think it is a critical point because there's never a convenient time for the meetings. And the other one that I wanted to note, well, I don't think they said they couldn't make it, but there was Jacqueline Devonna Williamson. She's a med student, will be a great addition. I guarantee a med student has no time for this. I just am really shocked that she would put her name in because between residencies and rotations, I just going, oh my gosh, boards. So not that she wouldn't be a good candidate, but I think that would just not be a positive thing.
Thank you, Lindsay. Are there any other discussion on the nominees before we do our first ranking? Julie?
Julie Vihel for the record. I'm sorry, just to comment on Mr. Daly's comment. If somebody throws their hat in the ring for something, I think they know their schedule best, and I wouldn't presume to think that they don't have time for it if they are interested enough to go through the motions of applying. So that is not something that I would have a negative view on being a med student. I think that's a great thing. Thank you.
So are we ready now to rank our nominations?
I still would like to kind of throw some stuff around.
Okay, let's have discussion.
I just wanted to kind of point out, I think one of the candidates that could be a dark horse on this, a Chanel Marseilles. I'm trying to, am I pronouncing that right? Am I getting yeah, Chanel Marseilles. Chanel. She's a stay-at-home mom, but she has, went to Palo Verde. She's a Vegas native. She's been around, has a bachelor's degree. I think it's that kind of candidate that we need to look at. It's easy to gloss over her. She doesn't have, a big curriculum vitae that, 2 or 3 pages, but she definitely I think should be in the running.
Thank you, Lindsay. Any further discussion? Julie?
Julie Vigil for the record. What exactly do you see in the answer for that candidate that deserves critical thinking?
Well, Lindsay Daly for the record. I guess I'm also a Vegas native, born and raised in Southern Nevada, and there's something to be said to, you just kind of ooze into your mind, and went to Palo Verde, and just she has that history, and I think we need, as transitory as our county is, our school district is, I think it's nice to have a little bit of an anchor. Well, she is not my first choice. I just think that she shouldn't be overlooked. And because, she's obviously shows she has the skill set because she has a bachelor's degree, and, she's got some kids. So she deserves to be heard. So that would be my answer there.
All right, is there any further discussion on the nominees for parent guardian? Mr. Carroll, I have a question. Do I have to vote for all 6 vacancies, or can I simply vote the ones I want if there's 4 or 5?
Each person you vote for will receive a number of points based on the position of that voting,
Okay,
and that's in the first round.
okay.
Only candidates with 6 or more points will move forward to the second round of voting.
Okay, so if I don't want to consider 6 nominees in the first round, I don't have to?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that.
This is Lindsay Daly. I've got a couple I can throw your way if you'd want to.
Thank you. I've done my own research. So are we ready to vote?
So for the voting process, please use the worksheet that was at the front of your binder, and you'll rank your top 6 nominations in order of the category for parent or guardian, with your first choice would receive 6 points.
This is Lindsay Daly for the record. I want to note the staff is asking for trouble trying to read my handwriting, just for the record.
You'll be calling them out, sir.
Committee, how are we doing? Do we have 6? If you're finished with your ballot, raise your hand. All right. So we're going to have each person read their 6 votes in the first ranking, and please read them slowly. Margie.
Margie Feldman, District A. I vote for Elizabeth Ornelius. Lucas Santos. Dr. Shearer, I can't read my own handwriting, Badger. Christine Matthews. Zachariah Brown. And Tiffany Butterfield.
Lindsay, you're up.
Okay, this is Lindsay Daly, my first round list. Number 1, it'll be 1 through 6 in that order. Number 1 is Liam McCall. We got that? Okay. Number 2, Eric Reynolds. Number 3, Jessica Markowitz. Am I going too fast? Oh, wow, you guys are, okay. Number 4, Whitney Purdy. Is that right? And 5, Zachariah Brown. 6, Chanel Marseilles.
1 second on that, please.
Sorry.
No problem. Can you read your 4th choice again, please?
Whitney Purdy. Okay, I got to put my glasses on to see that screen. Do you need 4th choice?
Yeah, can you,
Yes, it'd be Whitney Purdy.
there isn't a Whitney Purdy.
There's a Whitney Purdy in the teaching category.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. That was a test. So, can you, let me, I had my screen too far down, so.
We'll come back to you, and
Okay.
we'll let you rework your ranking.
Thanks.
Julie, are you ready?
Okay, Julie V. Hill for the record. My round 1 nominees in order are Elizabeth Ornelius, Jacqueline Devania Williamson, Zachariah Brown, Kirsten Matthews, Lucas Santos, and Michaeline Westfall.
Thank you, Julie. Nicole?
Nicole Holloman, District F. My first, or in that order, 1 through 6. Elizabeth Ornelas, Erica Reynolds, Jacqueline Devania Williamson, Kelly Hemming, Micheline Westfall. I am very sorry. I am so sorry. And Lucas Santos.
Lindsay, are you still working? If you are, I can do mine.
Yep, yeah, could you please?
Sure. Number 1, Elizabeth Ornelas. 2 is Erica Reynolds. 3 is Kristen Matthews. 4, Jacqueline Davina Williamson. 5, Zachariah Brown. And 6, Micheline Westfall.
All right, are we ready for my,
Lindsay, you ready?
my big number 4?
Okay.
Micheline Westfall.
Can you look at the screen, please? And
Alright.
verify, based on the monitor, what you're noticing, if you can.
Yes.
Your votes.
If your votes are accurate, would you raise your hand, please? Right on the screen here, the big screen.
I'm looking at this.
Okay. You okay, Margie? Yours are right? Or yours accurate by your name?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody's verified that their votes are correct.
So what you're seeing on your screen, the top candidates that are still in gray and white, those are the folks that have 6 or more points that can move on to the next round. The folks that are in pink and are crossed off did not pass the threshold of votes. Since there are only 2 candidates from each district, I'm going to go through each one and make sure that we have the right threshold to be able to move forward. I just need 1 second, please. I just did that, so we're good. We now need a motion from the committee to nominate all applicants who received 6 or more points. And that will include the following: Liam McCall, Micheline Westphal, Lucas Santos, Kristen Matthews, Zachariah Brown, Jacqueline Davina Williamson, Erica Reynolds, and Elizabeth Ornelius. One more time, in case you want to mark on your sheet, the folks that had 6 or more points that are moving forward into round 2. Liam McCall, Micheline Westphal, Lucas Santos, Kristen Matthews, Zachariah Brown, Jacqueline Davina Williamson, Erica Reynolds, and Elizabeth Ornelius.
I need a motion to move these folks forward for the second ranking.
I motion to move these folks. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Sorry,
I
nominees.
motion to move these nominees forward.
Thank you, Nicole. Do I have a second?
Margie Feldman will second.
Nicole Holloman has moved to bring forward these nominees for the second ranking with a second from Margie Feldman. Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising your hand and saying aye. Aye. There are none opposed. Motion carries. So we're here. At this time, we'll open up the discussion to allow members of the committee to explain what they are looking for from representatives from the, oh, I jumped back.
There you go.
Jumped back. Okay, at this time, we'll open discussions for any of the committee members who'd like to comment on any of the remaining applicants in the category of parent guardian. So is there any additional discussion from what we had earlier about these nominees that you'd like to share before we rank for the second time?
Yes, this is Lindsay Daly. I would. I know, I see we kind of go, I'm not trying to get in a fight here, but Jacqueline Devana Williamson, I'm sure she's obviously brighter. She's in med school. And it is nothing against her, and I don't know who she is, but I guess I'll bring out the fact that I graduated from dental school, and the first 2 years of dental school is equivalent to med school, and then they diversify and you work on teeth. And I'm here to tell you, and then I did a residency at the VA hospital, and I watched those interns come through. They got no time. They got no time. And you intern the last 2 years, and you're in the books the first 2 years, taking national boards. Unless she's like an Einstein or something, even then, you have to commit to be certain places, and you can be an Einstein, but you still have to show up to your internship and show up to some of the classes. So I think it's a strategic error there, because you're building in failure. It's nothing against her personally, but I just don't think she realizes all of the curriculum she's going to have to read. The meetings never come at a convenient time. There's a lot of outside work that has to be done. So we don't need to set ourselves up for, set the CEP committee up for a member that can't participate fully. It's nothing against her personally.
Thank you, Lindsay. Nicole?
Hi, Nicole Holloman. I would like to advocate for our multitaskers out there. As a wife, mother, realtor myself, and being here tonight, never underestimate the power of someone who cares about what they do. If you care enough, you will be there. It doesn't matter. You'll make time. I would like to bring to your attention that she also worked at the Women's Center, volunteers for the Rape Crisis Center, has a degree in psychology. So I think she's well-rounded in knowing about managing her time. And then also that she just cares and she wants to go. Coming off of this paper, she wants to be a part of this and bring her skill set to it. So I would not want to disqualify her as far as time, because we will find the way and find the time. The suggestion would be those are working around her, assist her, help her, maybe her supervisor or managing doctor, whoever that be that's in charge, would advocate for her being a part of this program. So I wouldn't say her time would disqualify her. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Julie, did I see you raise your hand?
Yes, hi, Julie Vigil for the record. I'd like to agree with Nicole about multitaskers, and, if you have something that you're passionate about, you make time for it. And I've also found that the busier you are, the more organized you are about your time. The thing that stuck out to me with her application was, again, how I heard about it. She said she applied a year ago as well. So she is determined to continue, and the fortitude and persistence struck me as a definite positive alongside all of her other positives. And the degree in psychology, there was a few applicants in the entire pool that noted that they had a degree in psychology, which personally, on a personal note, I find to be great, because for a parent who has been looking for mental health for her children and students, finding a psychologist, an actual psychologist in this town, is very hard to come by. So having one, especially as a parent, would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Are there any additional discussion on these nominees for the second ranking? Or are we ready to rank them?
This is Lindsay Daly. When you're an intern, in med school, you're less than human. They do not, doesn't matter what you like, you don't toe it, you're gone. I mean, I don't know. All those things, are great, and if it were applied to anybody else, I would say, yeah, great, yeah, they can do it. They don't have a choice. It is a dictatorship. That's just the way it is. You are there, and you're doing 30, 40 hours in one shot. You may get to sleep on a bed somewhere. I mean, and so I can tell you, it's going to fall right on the priority list. So I don't know where she's at in med school. She didn't put that. So it's like I said. I guess I feel like I'm operating from a reality standpoint, and what I'm hearing is a lot of theory. And it's not that she wouldn't be a good candidate. It's just not now. That's it. So, and I'm not trying to get in a fight. You guys, obviously know I'm not going to put her. So if you guys want to vote for her, great. I am just going on record that it's going to be real tough for her. That's it.
Thank you, Lindsay. Margie, did I see your hand?
Yes, I just wanted to say that there's a reason the expression, if you want something done, ask a busy person. If I worked, raised a family, I'm retired, I am sitting here at night because volunteerism is so important. I think we're really blessed to have a really multitude of candidates that want to do this. And I think it would be very unfair of us to judge what we think might or might not happen when somebody wants to be on this committee. I think, we're already not meeting the person in person, so I don't think we should theorize. You're saying theories, but yours is a theory as well, because you don't know where she is in medical school or who she is as a person, or as the other women said, what kind of support system she has. I would trust that she wouldn't apply for this if she didn't think she could come and do it.
Okay, it looks like we finished up discussion about the nominees. Am I correct? So are we ready to rank them the second time? Yes. Chris?
At this time, using the worksheet at the front of your binder, you'll rank your top 4 nominations from the remaining applicants, and you can see them on your screen. After the first round of voting, in order from the category of parent or guardian. So your first choice will receive 4 points. Your second choice will receive 3 points. Third choice, 2 points, and fourth choice, 1 point.
Okay, we're going to have each member read off their top 4 candidates slowly so they can be tallied. Margie?
Margie Feldman, District A. My top 4 candidates are Elizabeth Ornelius, Jacqueline Divine Williamson, Lucas Santos, and Zachariah Brown.
Thank you. Lindsay?
This is Lindsay Daly. My top 4 candidates are Liam McCall. Oh, I spelled that wrong right there. Number 2. Okay, you're quick. Eric Reynolds. And third is Micheline Westfall. And Zachariah Brown is number 4.
Julie?
Julie Vigil, for the record, I nominate or vote for round 2 in order: Elizabeth Ornelius, Jacqueline Davinia Williamson, Kay Matthews, and Zachariah Brown.
Thank you. Nicole?
Nicole Holloman. Number 1, Jacqueline Davinia Williamson. Number 2, Elizabeth Ornelas. Number 3, Lucas Santos. Number 4, Erica Reynolds.
Donna West, District G, for the record. Number 1, Elizabeth Ornelas. Number 2, Erica Reynolds. Number 3, Jacqueline Davina Williamson. Number 4, Zachariah Brown.
Please take a moment to look at the monitor at your votes and make sure those match what is on your nomination worksheet that we'll be collecting. Yeah, are you okay?
If your votes are accurately recorded, please raise your hand. Okay, everyone's votes are accurately recorded.
Based on the second round of voting, we have 3 candidates with the highest votes that move forward for your selection: Elizabeth Ornelius, Jacqueline Davina Williamson, and Erica Reynolds. If you'll notice, the 4th, 5th, and 6th position, Zachariah Brown, Lucas Santos, and Liam McCall, all have a total of 4 points each, which will result in a runoff between those 3 candidates.
Is there any discussion on these 3 nominees?
Yes, give me a minute to write them down so I can then look back and reference them. Because
Okay. You want to take a
can't
moment
memorize
to
it.
refresh your memory?
So just for clarification, and general counsel, please step in at any moment. For the top 3 candidates, those are selected based on the second round. For candidates 4, 5, and 6, we will do a vote. It won't be a rank vote. You'll select one of those members. And just like we did for the medical or nurse or counselor or teacher, you'll call out which of those candidates you would like to cast your vote for. After, of course, a discussion round as needed.
Are we ready to move forward with discussion of these 3 candidates? Sure.
This is
Lindsay
Lindsay Daly. I didn't realize that the first 3 were done, so I was like writing them all down.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Zachariah Brown, Lucas Santos, and Liam McCall are the 3 that we're going to be choosing from. and we're voting for one candidate. Julie?
Julie V. Hill for the record. I would like to say that two of the three candidates, Zachariah Brown and Lucas Santos, both look very promising to me. I like Zachariah Brown. I like that he's a commissioned officer in the Air Force and has higher education, especially in education leadership. And he says that he also did a research prospectus for his master's on the impact of gender and sexuality alliances in high school. So I think he's probably on target with a lot of what's happening. I also liked his answer for why he wants to do this. And he touches on a lot of the hot button issues that are happening across the country right now. And that is a huge, huge thing in my book. I want to say that, where'd it go? Sorry, I lost my page. Lucas Santos also talked about the current political climate and how important it is to have accurate education for our students. Lucas also goes on to talk about their background, being able to work with so many different demographics and just being connected with a broad range of people brings, both of these people bring a wide world view, in my opinion. And I liked everything that I read, and they were well thought out and rational and impassioned answers. In contrast, the other candidate, Liam McCall, didn't really have a whole lot to say as far as why, just wanted to be a part of education with their kids, and it was an incomplete sentence. Didn't really finish what they were trying to say. And it was just all about their child. And it didn't really strike me as somebody I would vote for. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Nicole had hers microphone.
I would like to just look, I need to see, be able to chart who's been selected, because I think that's important, because we're going to have to balance out. You had it up there, and I was trying to write
It's
it
right-
down. and
It's
then-
right there. It's
No,
Zachariah.
no, the ones that have already been
Oh.
listed in. So we know which categories we have filled, and then we've got the three remaining. So, because that's going to be a factor on, at least for me.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we have, and we're working on making sure it's on the screen for you in a moment. Elizabeth Ornelius,
Is in C for the,
correct, in C, has moved forward.
for the parent guardian.
Correct, this is
The
all for
all-parent-
just the parent guardian.
Okay,
And we also have Jacqueline Davina Williamson,
Okay.
and she is representing District A. She has also moved forward with a high score. And the last person of those that moved forward with the high scores were Erica Reynolds, and she's from District E. So District C, A, and E.
okay. Oh, my gosh.
No, I can read off the ones that are full in a second based on those.
Okay, can you put that up so I can go through that again? I'm a visual learner, and
No problem. Yep, so if you're looking right there, you're seeing their names. Elizabeth Ornelius, Jacqueline Davina Williamson, and Erica Reynolds.
they're in E. Erica Reynolds is in E.
in those little boxes on the left, see where it says A, B, C, D? If you go through everybody that we pick, you can mark the box so that you know how many come from each district.
So based on this, District C, E, and G are closed? That's what I want to know. Got you. And the 3 remaining that we're selecting 1 from, each person will vote 1
Okay,
time.
hold on. So C
Yep.
and E are closed,
And G.
and G are closed.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And
And
the
then how many do we have in A?
There's 1 in A.
For parent and guardian, right?
I'm just reading the districts. There's 1 in A, and that is a
Okay.
parent or guardian, yes.
Okay,
2 in C, which is why C is closed. 2 in E, which is closed, and G is closed. I have 0 candidates in F, in D, or in B.
thank you. That gives me
And
clarity.
then based off of that, of the 3 folks right now that you're voting for 1 person is Zachariah Brown, Lucas Santos, and Liam McCall. And I believe those are B, B, and
Okay. Could you show those? Yeah, there we go,
Thank you.
there we go. Is it- No, no.
B, B, and F. Thank you.
And who is who?
Brown and Santos are in B, and McCall is in
Brown and Santos are in where?
Are in B, District B, and Liam McCall is in F.
And McCall is in F.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's shown on your screen now,
So we're basically, D is not going to get anything.
based off of who applied,
Right,
correct?
so D is pretty much, they're out, so we've got F and B. Okay.
All right, is there additional discussion on these 3 candidates before we vote?
Yes, that's what I was looking for, because if we're also looking to have diversity so that we don't have just 3, let's see, we've got F and B that have none. We've already ruled out D, so unfortunately. And so F and B, I think we need to look at splitting those, so we at least have 1 in each. And it looks like, this is my observation, it looks like if we choose
We're only
Santos-
voting for 1. We have 1 spot remaining. There are 4 openings for parent guardians, so we have to pick
That's
1
right,
out of
that's
these
right.
3 remaining.
All right, let me think about that.
Is there any further discussion on these 3 nominees? Margie?
Margie Feldman, District A. I think we have 3 candidates to pick, to rule down to 1, and if you ask somebody to write the right qualifications for this committee, I think Zachariah Brown fills in those blanks between his high level of education, his gender studies. I mean, to me, he seems like the perfect candidate for this from my first read to now. I obviously like Lucas Santos a lot, and I have to agree with you completely about McCall's application is almost flippant in the way he wants to be a parent advocate because he's a parent. So it doesn't give us an opportunity to learn what he would bring to the committee. So I'm advocating for Zachariah Brown to be our final choice.
Thank you, Margie. Is there any additional discussion? Or are we ready to vote? Again, we're going to vote by voice. I'll call on you each one at a time to register your vote. Margie?
Margie Feldman votes for Zachariah Brown.
Lindsay?
Yeah, I'll do Zachariah Brown. Yeah.
Thank you. Julie?
Julie Vihil for the record, Zachariah Brown.
Nicole?
Nicole Holloman. Lucas Santos.
Thank you. Donna West voting for Zachariah Brown.
Based on the second round of voting and then this runoff round of voting, we have the following candidates for recommending for the category of parent or guardian. Elizabeth Ornelius from District C, Jacqueline Davina Williamson from District A, Erica Reynolds from District E, and Zachariah Brown from District B.
And that completes all of the voting we need to do for new memberships to be recommended to the Board of Trustees. Before I open Agenda Item 3.01, public comment on items not listed as action items on the agenda, is there anyone who has not had a chance to complete a public speaker card? If not, please do so at this time and turn the card in at the front table. Should a member of the public wish to speak on matters within the jurisdiction of the committee not listed as action items on the agenda, they may speak during public comment. On items not listed as action items on the agenda, speakers will be given 3 minutes to address the committee. The public should be aware that the committee is unable to deliberate or take actions on items raised during the public comment period. Mr. Carroll, when Mr. Carroll calls your name, please step up to the microphone and be sure to state your name for the record. Mr. Carroll, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on Agenda Item 3.01?
Yes, we have one member, and please remember, in accordance with Governance Policy 11, all public comments must be within the jurisdiction or governance structure of this committee, but not listed as an action item on the agenda. This committee is only responsible for recommending members to the Board of School Trustees to serve on the Sex Education Advisory Committee. Mr. James Bayless.
Hi, James Bayless for the record. So as far as as far as the curriculums and everything, as far as Jacqueline, I know her from the board. Me and her sit with Ms. Bywaters a lot, and we sit there and listen to a lot of the stuff that the parents talk about. Like as far as the curriculum that you guys deal with. And like I said, you guys should really keep advised with the special needs kids, because according to our state laws, if a parent showed inappropriate stuff to a minor, we would go to jail. But because we're the parent, you guys are the legal guardian, the very things we talk about up here are inappropriate. Just like it's inappropriate to show my child. But it's okay for the guardian to do it? Why isn't it okay for the parent? Because if a parent does it, you get on a level 2 registry. And I believe our director of compliance is also part of the AG. He's put people on the level 2 registry for that. And he's the one that's making this okay for the guardian to do it. I think we might want to reevaluate the state laws and what CCSD is actually doing with the curriculum. Because again, there's things that they say in class we've discussed, I won't mention here, that is not very appropriate for children to be hearing, much less adults. Because I remember back when I was in school, we used to do a banana and a rubber, and now they're showing legislature. And if you distribute legislature or images to a child, that is violation of state laws, man. So that should be something we all should think of when we're doing all curriculums for either special needs or normal children. The state laws do apply to all of us, not just pick and choose. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment is now closed. We're moving to the last item on the agenda, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Nicole Holloman. Do I have a second?
I second Margie Feldman.
Motion to adjourn by Nicole Holloman, second by Margie Feldman. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That was unanimous. The July 20th, 2023 meeting of the Sex Education Advisory Committee Recommending Committee has been adjourned as of 6:58 p.m.
A quick announcement for the good of the order, as there were no eligible applicants for the field of religion and one student has stepped down, the application for these positions will be opening up again in August. Please watch for the trustees' website and notice of the application if you are interested in serving in the field of religion or if you have a high school student interested in serving as a member. Thank you.